أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah that you are welcome once again to this another session of our class, online class. And as you can see on the board, the subject is civic education, and the topic uh, is autism. And our subtopic for today is going to be on preventive measures against autism. If you recall, that was like I said, this is a continuation of our online classes, and we are doing this to keep our dear students busy at home and to continue learning at this period of pandemic. And you should be rest assured that we are going to do everything possible to ensure that you are at all time attended to. Today, inshallah, like I said, our our topic is going to be on preventive measures against autism. And you will all agree with me that this is about 6 weeks of doing this, and we've taken a lot of steps to explain what cultism is, what cultism is, who are the cultists, what are the types of cultists. We also tried to look at the formation and the historical background of cultism, how it started, and till this particular moment, how has it been done in our various higher institutions. So, in our last class, we tried to look at the consequences, and I want to believe that listening to that alone, I know our dear students will not want to be a part of cults groups in when they get eventually get to the university. And today we are going to look at what are the efforts that can be made to see that cultism become the thing of past in our society, and it gets totally and completely eradicated from our tertiary institutions today. Because to be sincere with you, just like I said in our previous classes, it has nothing good. It has no benefit. It is not. It has no usefulness, to our society, and to also the individual development. So that is why we are making all effort to ensure that we spread the word, we spread it to everywhere, and we sensitize our students and our children on the impact of it, so as to get it eradicated completely from our society. Let's quickly go back to the class now, to today's class. Just like I said, we're going to look at the preventive measures against cultism. So, looking at what we have on the board today, said cultism, as deep rooted as it is in our contemporary society, can be prevented through the following measures. Several people, several organizations had made effort to, come up with a lot of solutions as to how the issue of cultism can be eradicated from our society. And some of the efforts, made are what we are going to analyze today in our class. At least, if with all some of these methods, some of these suggestions are followed, cultism will be a thing of past in our society, and by extension in our tertiary institution. The first on the list here under the preventive measures is responsible parenting. When we say responsible parenting, there is difference between being a parent and being responsible. When you are responsible, that means you are taking into cognizance all the responsibility or the roles that are expected of a parent on their child or children. A parent that leaves his or her child alone to take decision on his or her own, automatically such a student or such a child will misbehave. Such a child will take wrong decisions that can lead him or her into joining cult group. We have seen situations where parents don't have time because of their business, running after businesses, running after money, running after posts or position. They abandon their children in school. They don't care to know what is going on with their academics. And such students, when they had uh, issues or problem of people disturbing them to join God group, the parents were not there to share their feelings and solve whatever they have as problem with them. So many of them eventually joined cult group because they don't have anyone to share their problem with when they needed their parents most. So being responsible as parents is to take into cognizance and to play what the roles they are supposed to play as parents on their children. Parents should always look after their children, both whether they are in primary school or they are in secondary school or they are in tertiary school. Children are still children to their parents, and they should, as a parent, to know what is going on in their life. Let them feel at home to discuss whatever they have as problem and share it with you so that they will always have someone to lean on when the need arises. Uh, Number two is moderate spending by parents or guardian on their children or wards. And these are another problems. This is another problem we have in our society today. Some parents, led their student or their children or their wards into joining cult group because of uh, over pamper, over pampering, or they are giving them what they don't need, showering them with things that are not necessary. And some of these children, once they don't have or they cannot meet with the standard of what their parents are giving them before, automatically they will take into cultism. And these are some of the things we've seen in some of the courses or things that make some of these students join cult because of the attitude or the act of over pampering them with material things. And once those things are not forthcoming again, automatically they will not be able to measure up with life. They will not be able to cope. And when they are unable to cope, automatically they will follow the wrong advice and take into cultism. The third is adequate academic challenges. Adequate academic challenges. Now, once there is competition, challenges, for instance, from the school, from the lecturers, from the teachers, where you have lots and tons of assignments and academic activities that can engage them, students will not be able to think of joining cult group. But in a situation whereby there is no activity to engage them or meaningful academic activity to engage them, some of them, having situation where there is nothing to do, many of them will be misled. Many of them will think that joining the available group is the best option to keep themselves busy because there's no any academic activities to challenge them. So once the school can, look into this direction, give them academic challenge, academic adequate academic challenges, many students will not be able to think of going into cult activities. And that the fourth one there is the effective security. The fourth one is the effective security services in schools. Many of our tertiary institutions today don't have adequate security, even to safeguard the properties of the school, not to talk of protecting the lives of the students. There are schools today that don't have enough, adequate security network. So having this in place in our various tertiary institutions today will go a long way in checkmating the activities of cult members. Just of recent, from the University of Abuja, some set of students were caught behind a particular hill within the university premises, and they were caught during their initiation ceremony for the new members. You asked me how they were caught. They were being caught by the network of security personnel around the school, in collaboration with the inhabitant of the village around the school there. So what we are saying in this is that if the school can put in place adequate security network, they will be able to monitor the activities of the students within the school, and also to protect the lives and property of the school and the students. So the fifth one under the preventive measures against cultism is enforcing school rules and regulations. Virtually all the schools, both secondary and tertiary institutions, they all have rules and regulations in place. And in a situation where the rules and regulations are not being followed, automatically the students will go out of their way to do what they feel is good, which might not, or which might be in contradiction to the school rules and regulation. So if the school authority can follow and implement the school rules and regulations to the letter, automatically the problem of cultism will be solved, greatly. Then number six, studying hard in school. This has been an advice that that wants to come, whoever that wants to come, successful in his or her academic life should study hard. This has been the advice all along. And the students should also take this as their priority. If you study hard, automatically you will have the gain. And your gain is success. The last one is public enlightenment on the dangers of cultism. This is one particular activity that both the individual and the government should do or should take as paramount, because everybody needs to be sensitized on the danger of cultism, because people don't know the consequences of it, the dangers in being a member of cultism or cult group. That is why the activities of cult group are still being pronounced in our society today. But if the enlightenment can go public as a result of the effort of the government and individual and the schools together with the parents, it will go a long way in eradicating the activities of cult group in our society today. And with this, I want to believe that students must have learned one or two things, and our dear parents as well that are watching us at home now, that should be done to eradicate cultism in our society. Because, just like I said, the numbers of lives and properties that have been wasted on the issue of cultism is far, far, far higher than what the society should bear, a responsible society should bear. So, there we stop today, and our assignment is on says that state three preventive measures against cultism. State three preventive measures against cultism. So, by God's grace, I'll be expecting your response, your answers to be channeled through my WhatsApp line on 0805342 1107. 0805342 1107. See you in our next class. Thank you very much for being there.